don't go to library.
Well, all my libraries are closed on.
Yeah, and I remember
some of them even closed on Saturdays.
I remember growing up, I used to have to go to the Shelter Rock Library because it was the only available by me. And it was like 2 miles. Library that was open on a Sunday.
Plainview Library open 1 to 9 on Sundays.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, however, how is it? Because Plainview is it open on Saturday?
I think it's Sabbath. I think that's why. I think it's more of a relic, even though most people aren't that religious anymore.
Right.
But back then, a lot of people didn't go out. It's still a large.
That's what I'm thinking. It had to
pseudo-religious
do with the
community.
That's right. That's right.
So they go frequent. They'll frequent like the synagogues on Friday, but they'll still go out on Saturday. But I guess it's relic to back.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
20, 30 years ago.
Demographics. That's what you do.
And Mark, I think the perfect pickup for the Yankees would be Nova.
Nova.
Yeah, Tova Nova.
Bring him back.
So it'd be perfect to replace Susan, right?
Yeah, well, again, I'd like you to hear her yelling from the dugout. I'm sure that No, I really do think Nova does nothing but quality starts. If you look at his numbers, he gives you 5 or 6 quality innings.
Well, he's the only one. He's with the Pirates now, right?
Who is this?
Ivan Nova.
Oh, yeah.
So he's done quite well with pitching in obscurity, in anonymity.
And the beauty of it is he signed a 2-year contract last year, and Pittsburgh's looking to shed.
When they give you a 2-year contract, that means we'll keep you for 1 year, we'll trade you in the second year.
Right.
That's what it means.
Perfect team. I mean, I shouldn't say the perfect. There's no such word as perfect in baseball. It would be the Yankees. Is give somebody to give us.
Well, they got to replace Tanaka.
That one's going to bite somebody in the tail feathers.
Tanaka is, and someone's got to explain to me Tanaka's contract. Does he have years left? I thought they were just going to run him.
He has years left. He has an opt-out.
He's got a player option?
He's going to. I think he has an opt-out.
So his arm's hanging. Yeah, I think I'm going to take. Yeah, you're going to pay me next year. His arm's broken, but yeah, you're going to pay me next year.
But it's one of those things where they said if he opts out, they're done with him. Like,
they want no part of him. This is a guy who had arm trouble the first year of the contract, and they said, no surgery. We're just going to roll the dice and let it go. And you reap what you sow sometimes.
The Mets is doing the exact opposite.
I'd like to know, though, going on in the future for pitchers, is there going to be more contracts with insurance on it? So that, let's say, they do get hurt. And
yeah, I don't, it's funny because we are fans of the teams of which we're fans, which sounds genius, right? But we don't really pay attention to other teams' injury problems. And there are a lot of teams in the baseball with injury problems. So are players, they're like thoroughbreds, right? And we're talking about guy Dave. I mean, are players more like thoroughbreds these days? It's funny. I was just thinking about this story the other day because so my younger son had his 5th grade moving up ceremony the other day. Has anyone ever been to a moving up ceremony?
Yes, of course. Yes.
So after it ends, an older lady comes up behind me and she's like, "Are you Chris Muldoon?" Oh, that's never a good question. How do you answer that?
Yeah.
Like,
depends who are you.
She's like, yeah, exactly. And I'm like, ooh, and then I sort of got a glimpse of who in context I could be. And I'm like, all right, I've known you since I'm was friends with your mom and dad and blah blah blah. I knew that your son was in the same class as grade as my granddaughter. Blah 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 blah. And I remember I'm talking to her. I'm like, and all I could think of her son that I was a year younger than me growing up. I'm thinking back to a baseball story. So I was in 8th grade. He was in 7th grade, and back then. It was such that when and it was great, you stayed at Little League, even if you weren't very good, you'd stay at it. Nowadays, with travel and everything, you're done 3rd grade. Like, if you're not good, you just give it up, which is terrible. You should keep on playing until you get better. And this one kid, just kept them better. So we didn't do pitch counts. Today it's pitch counts in Little League. Back then it was if you pitched 6 innings, or in the 8th grade it was 7 innings, you were allowed 7 innings a week. So that week, on the weeknight, one guy had pitched, our pitcher had pitched, and then Saturday we had a game. Well, Saturday the other guys who were supposed to be pitchers didn't show. So they're like, all right, and they told me, they remember I had pitched in years past, because I had, like, you're going to pitch today. I'm like, what? I haven't pitched in years. Like, no, you're going to pitch today. So I went 7 innings, and it had to be 250 pitches. I mean, it had to be crazy. And I'm throwing curves and knuckleballs, and I'm intentionally walking the best kid in the team because I didn't want to give up a home run, and his mother's like, pitch to him. I'm like, no. I'm not going to pitch to him. I got nothing. So at one point, I turned to my third baseman. I bring him in, and this is the kid who had pitched on Wednesday. His name's Patsy. It was Pasquale, but Patsy was his name. I'm like, Patsy, I got nothing left here. I got nothing. He's like, hey, I'm this kid's in my class, and we look at it's the nerd, this kid Jimmy. I won't say his last name, but the brother of the son of this older lady who stopped me the other day. And he's like, hey, Jimmy, every time that you start to throw your pitch, he takes this lead off of third base like you wouldn't believe. He's like, let's do the hidden ball trick. And I'm like,
Michael.
I'm like, you think it's going to work? He's like, I know it's going to work. He's a nerd. I'm like, all right. I'm sure you use stronger language then. And so sure enough, and I knew, being Mr. Rulebook guy, I'm like, and Dave's an umpire. You cannot step on the rubber. So I had to do everything within proximity and close, being adjacent to the rubber, but not, and time had to be in. And I also had to sort of intimate to the umpire that he knew what we were doing because he had to watch for it. So time's in. I go around the rubber, like an inch away from the rubber. I actually tried to make it like 3 inches so they couldn't say I was touching it. I was, far. And sure enough, the kid takes the lead. Boom, they tag out, and the inning was over. And I'm back in there with like ice on my shoulder. Yeah. And so this lady's talking, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, I'm like, we got your son out on the hidden ball trick. and my wife can't understand why I got this like smile on my face because I'm just thinking back to a childhood memory I hadn't thought of in 30 years. And I'm like, that's a great story.
You lawyered a kid. You lawyered a kid.
Yeah.
Goodness.
But like Patsy said, he was a nerd. So the other moral of that story was that even then the kid had been playing Little League 5 or 6 years and was still at it, which I loved. As opposed to today, kids give it up so easily. Like, I'm not any good. I'm not playing travel, and these other kids. No. Just enjoy. It's baseball. Well, it's a beautiful thing.
When I played travel, you only made the travel team. It didn't matter how good or bad you were. If your dad was a coach or you knew somebody, you played on the team. Is it still like that? Or
that's how I've never played shortstop in my life because my dad was the president of Little League. He was never the coach. So my dad was never. I never played shortstop. To this day, I've never played shortstop. So even I play softball every Sunday.
Number 2.
And let's not forget one thing, and I'll let you guys go. 75% of Tommy John surgeries now are done on young men between the ages of 15 and 19.
That's right, because they're playing on 5 different travel teams. The other coaches don't care. They just want to win, so they don't count how many. He threw 75 pitches there, 80 pitches there, 50 pitches there. They don't count.
They don't play soccer anymore in the fall either.
And that's the other thing. You want to be well-rounded and use all your muscles. You don't want to be using the same muscle 12 months out of the year. Do different sports. The great athletes of yesteryear were 3 sports stars, 4 sports stars. They'd play football, basketball, whatever it was.
The ironic thing about that is, though, Florida is not the hotbed of young baseball. They tell you to move north to play baseball. I don't know why.
I don't know where north though.
No. Like if you say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
football is high. I guess like Florida's high school football.
I guess maybe Georgia or North Carolina.
Well, they just had the amateur baseball draft. Where were most people taken from the other day? Where were they from? I don't even know. Vanderbilt is a big.
Vanderbilt. Yes.
Very big baseball school these days. All the Cal State, Fullerton, places like that. But and then. Yeah, like the Midwest, Oklahoma, Nebraska. It's in Omaha. So, all right, Dave.
I'll let you go, and I'll ask one question for the panel. This way you get the entire panel going.
All right.
The worst franchise in the entire metropolitan area. Have a nice evening.
Well, I think some of the guys root for them. The worst franchise. Well, that's a good question because are we going to talk about ownership? Are we talking about fan bases? Are we going to talk about records? Because they're all worth essentially $1 billion. Right? Is it the Nets? It's got to be the Nets, right?
It got to be the Nets. I won't. Listen, as disappointed I am with my Knicks, I'm not going to give them that card.
Well, it's the Nets or the Islanders, right? Or even the Devils. So you know what it might be? The Devils, a team that won Stanley Cups several. Was it 3? How many did they win?
How about the Jets?
They won a bunch. Jets are still $1 billion franchise. The NFL prints money. But they print money. They have a footprint.
Don't want it to be the Nets.
They have a footprint.
Oh, yeah, Islanders.
This college team's worth more than the Nets right now.
Alabama, right? As Alabama?
I'm talking about
Alabama pays, and Alabama pays better than
football.
Nets, too.
Yeah, I was about to say Alabama football definitely should. Duke has to be getting more. North Carolina has to be doing better than
high school. St. Marian High School.
Yeah, where all of those stars come from, exactly. Nets is just picked up a center. A center? Oh, gosh.
It's just absentee ownership is what the Nets are.
Yeah, I don't... Listen, man, I'm happy about the pick. Everybody on Facebook is going crazy.
And then
they don't even know this guy.
The Russian comes back. He says, I'm here to stay. I'm here to watch. I'm here to take,
Deadspin, and you guys should read it. Deadspin, I don't know if you guys ever read
Deadspin. You mean
Deadspin,
that quasi-sports network that talks...
Deadspin did a great article last week on the big trade, how the Nets-Celtics trade went down. And it's an excellent and Pierce didn't want to be here and the like. It's a really good article, and it talks about how he had the owner had a defect. He had a Russian guy. He just kept here to be his representative, and it's really good behind the scenes kind of stuff. So you should definitely.
You know, the guy who got fired, Chris Charlier, was like the head guy in America running for
his stuff, his concerns.
Right. He brings up a whole big speech about I never really met Jason Kidd, but he was a nice guy, this or that.
But they now own Ratner sold the Coliseum rights, didn't he, to the Russian guy, or no?
It was all collusion.
Yeah. No, there's no collusion with Russia.
And Nassau County has more collusion with Russia.
516-572-7440, 516-572-7440. And we'll go to the NHL draft in a bit, an NHL draft preview, and that'll be, where do the Rangers pick this year?
They have a first-round pick. They pick at 21.
And the Islanders traded their pick, right?
They would have been at 15.
Cameron, in the few minutes that you've been here, you are up there with Eleanor.
With knowing hockey?
Yeah.
I know Eleanor.
She's a hockey maven, from what I understand.
I know Eleanor, yeah.
We might have a new hockey program coming soon next year. Who knows?
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah, because she knows hockey, and I can tell he knows hockey.
Yeah, that's right. Now, did you guys just finish your first year here, or...
Yeah,
I just finished my first year.
Now, are you tracking to graduate after 2, or are we going to go here longer? What do you expect right now?
I'm trying to finish after next year.
Yeah, same.
And would you stay home for college, or would you go away afterwards, or it's not even known at this particular point in time?
I'm planning to try to go to Hofstra.
Okay.
Hopefully somewhere out of state.
Okay, all right.
Somewhere fun.
You're not going to do the Mark 5-year program? Or no, I'm just kidding.
5 years? Were you 5? Oh, 5 years here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought it would been like 5 years in general. Yeah, I was like, okay. But now you're at Queens College, and you just finished your first year.
Exactly, never give up.
Was it your first semester or your first full year? First semester.
First semester.
Yeah, that's right. So
proud of you, Mark. Keep up the good work.
And when you both came out of MEPM and private school, respectively, did you had you applied? Were you always going to go here, or had you applied elsewhere to go somewhere?
I was always going to come here.
Yeah, I was going to come here.
Okay, so part of that's. See, these are questions. We're part of Nassau Community College, and I'm also a dad, so I like to ask these questions. And I just had my older son finish his freshman year of high school, and he could care less about colleges. And every day he's like, "It's so funny. I think I'm going to go somewhere." He's like, "I'm going to live in your basement." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're going to be so out of my basement. It's not even funny." So he's got. He was taking this class. Everything he's doing is the honors, one-up kind of thing, but he just doesn't care. So he had this class for humanities, which you had to get into. It combines social studies and it combines English into one, so it counts twice. So every grade you get is like 2 times. So he had a 99 average the whole year, fantastic. Then he had the final on the Monday. And he had the Friday off to study, he had a Saturday, Sunday, and the whole weekend. Oh, yeah, I'm studying. We'd be sitting I'm studying. He was on the internet. He was on his phone, whatever. And now with the portal, you can see the scores they get right away. And he got a 74 in his final, which counts twice. Yeah. So the 99 became a 96. So thankfully he had that to fall back on. But we're going nuts. Like, I hope whatever you were reading on the internet was worth screwing up your final on that. So, yeah, it hasn't been a fun time for me in the past. Then he had his Regents because he's taking geometry and biology, and they have the whole Regents experience with a 3-hour test or something. And I never took Regents.
You know what's great is that students are excelling well now more than ever. Everyone's going to college. But what's happening to our trades now? That's the big thing. Who's going to fix my air conditioning?
Plumbing, electrical. Well, those are real jobs.
Yeah.
Those are real skills and real jobs.
Don't complain.
There's a Mark quote that we're come to know and love.
Who's going to fix my air conditioning?
Those are real. I can't tell you. In buying a house, that's what I became so jealous of, having translatable skills and transferable skills that you can do no matter where you go.
So Chris, you're the type to call for everything type of
guy?
No.
Oh,
okay.
Well, if you're talking to my father-in-law, I'm the guy to call my father. He'll say I'm calling him.
Yeah.
But if I'm at a friend's house, I can fix things.
Okay.
But at my own house, my father-in-law's like, I got this one. Got it. Stuff.
Right,
yeah. So he doesn't. You know what? He'll let me paint. He'll let me paint a closet. Anyone ever paint a closet? Painting a closet means they don't think you're good. So paint a closet. You're doing something, but you're really not doing anything. You're painting something that no one's ever going to see. So it's like, go paint. But yeah, for my friend's house, I can fix things. But I don't mess with electric. That's one thing that I would never, ever. I could do plumbing. I could definitely do computer stuff, but not electric, not any of that stuff. Because I've done tile floor. I've laid that down. I've done sheetrock. I can do that stuff if needed, but electric I can't do at all.
And don't try it, please.
I fixed some toilets in my time.
The way the world is changing now, everyone's going to college now. Who's doing that? Who's
Well,
and with immigration law seems being restricted, who's going to cook my hamburger in the restaurant?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.